Well, hey there, it's Catherine. We released Stamp of Approval, the third collection, which is called Young at Heart, last week, and it's gone off without a hitch. Knock on wood. Am I jinxing myself? The first one had a hitch when we sold out in an hour and 1 minute, and then we actually oversold and we had to adjust and change course, and you guys were so patient and so awesome through all of that. And then the second, the holiday collection, we had a little unfortunate incident 11 minutes into our release when my website went down. But in about 10 hours, we sold out 90% of the collections. And most of that was without me having a website. So you guys are absolute rock stars for hanging in there with us while we worked through those challenges. The third one, there wasn't really any challenges. There were some challenges behind the scenes that you guys didn't even see, so we were able to correct them and move forward, and everything has gone smoothly as far as I can tell. So yay! It's been really exciting to see photos of people receiving their boxes and also projects popping up all over the internet already using the goodness in this collection. Woo! We are almost sold out at this point. The ordering went very similar to last time, with about 90% being sold out in the first 12 hours. And now we have a few left, and some of you are kind of coming in and picking up when you weren't able to on the first ordering day, but we're getting very close to being sold out. So if you haven't grabbed your collection yet, be sure to head over to cpstampofapproval.com. These products will be available later, but not for months. How about one more project with the collection? I am feeling like getting inky, so let's head over to the stamp table and make something fun. I'm gonna do some emboss resisting, and the first thing I did was my watercolor paper. I cut it out with this little stitched rectangle die. It's in the die set that comes in the Stamp of Approval Young at Heart collection. And I'm using my mini Misty, and I'm gonna stamp this. And I'm using the Misty because I may have to stamp this more than once to make sure I get a really good layer of Versamark on here. When I use the Misty, I can stamp it in the exact same place multiple times and be sure that I have perfect placement every time. I'm going to use my clear embossing powder by Wow, and we'll coat that right on top. Make sure the entire image is covered, and then give it a couple flicks to get rid of excess embossing powder. And then I've let my heat tool heat up just a little bit before, just a second ago, and so it's nice and hot now, and the embossing will go pretty quickly. You can see that powder turn to a shine if you kind of hold it in the light, and that's when you know you're done. Now for the next part, I decided I wanted to do a blue and yellow color palette. So I have Salty Ocean, Peacock Feathers, and Mustard Seed. I'm gonna take my little water bottle and just spritz, and then we'll just dip the cardstock right into the puddle of color. Now you can see the ink, or the emboss part, is resisting the color, but to be able to read that, I'm gonna need more ink. I bought this paintbrush at Michael's the other day. It's Simply Simmons. It's a level 1, and I'm loving this broad brush, so I've been dying to use it. So I could just continue dipping, but since I'm dying to use this brush, I'm going to switch over to the brush. We're going a little bit green here, so I'm going to add some more blue, and I'm kind of feeling the urge to dip again. So I don't know, maybe I will. Let's see. You guys have creative freedom to do whatever you want. You can dip, you can brush, you can dip and brush, whatever makes you excited. Okay, I think that is looking pretty good. I can read that happy birthday pretty well. I think in a couple places I may just add a little bit more color. We'll let this dry, and then we'll move on to the next part. So while that layer is drying, I'm taking the circle stencil from the first stamp of approval box. This is not available for sale yet, but will be soon. Watch my blog for that information. And I'm taking the Ring in the Celebration, and I want to do one of these iconic birthday images. So I chose this star, and I think I want to go with a black star background, just a real graphic look. So I have my little dots, and I'm just going to stamp over the top of them. So let's take a look at what we have so far. I'm loving this black star graphic background. I didn't fill it all in because I'm going to be covering that up. I have the other layer, the scallop rectangle, to go on here, and I could do it straight, or I was thinking about doing it crookedy. Not really sure, but I'm feeling like I need some more blue in here. So I cut out this balloon. It's from the same die set that the rectangles come in, and I'm going to use a little bit darker blue. I have Chip Sapphire, and I'm going to use a little bit of Salty Ocean. And I think at first I'm just going to wet down the balloon. That's a little bit too much wetness, so we'll just mop a little bit up. When you're playing with water, make sure you always have tissues on hand. And then I'm going to pick up some of that and just let the water kind of move around. Now I probably don't have enough. The trick is going to be getting the right amount of water. Pick up a little more blue, the light blue, the Salty Ocean, and dark blue. And I'll go ahead and let that dry. I decided to go straight with the layers. I'm going to add this and assemble the rest of the card. The edge of the scallop layer is hanging over the sides just a little bit, but I think it's still going to work to fit into an envelope and send it. If it's a little bit too wide, just trim that off and you have the scallop at the top and the bottom of that layer, and it's still a really great accent. My balloon is dry, and I think it's a really fun little watercolored accent. Just add a little bit of foam or dimensional adhesive there and scoot it up. And then the final little element is the string for the balloon. I don't have adhesive on the bottom of the balloon, so I can just slide that string right up there. I can pull that back and add a little adhesive in there now that I have my string placed. Now that I'm quote unquote done with this card, I'm thinking I need another balloon. So I just cut one out, and then I'm doing the smooshing technique with it, and think it'll be another fun little accent to add. This is kind of reminding me of when I was a kid, those little rainbow balloons, you know, the ones with the swirls and it looked like a bunch of paint. How much fun is that? And this last little balloon is going to sit right here, so I'm going to do a little bit of this dimensional adhesive right here. I'm hoping this is going to fit inside an envelope because I got pieces and parts hanging off. And let's see, a little bit of glue on the string. And we're just about done. Perfecto. Now I have a couple other cards that I made with the smooshing technique and the clear emboss resist. So here's one with some purples and a little bit of orange in there. And on the balloon here, now my stamp set is all upside down here, but this little guy right here, it's like a little line of dotted frosting. I used it to make a graphic black and white balloon, which is really fun. And then on here, I did some rainbow colors with a little polka dotted present, which I'm seeing popping up all over the place as a little piece of cheese. You guys go for it. Make cheese if you want. So there are all three cards, and if you haven't got your hands on this collection yet, I encourage you to do so ASAP because they're almost sold out. Thanks for being here. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again soon.